Hi everyone, welcome to Diana's Table. Today I'm going to go to my favorite marketplace, which is near my home. It's a very traditional Korean style farmer's market, and I usually buy my vegetables and meats there. So please join me and let's go. Let me put my mask on first. So how did you enjoy our visit to my local favorite grocery store market? It's been there for many years, and as you can see, it's my favorite place to go shopping. I want to actually explain some of the items that we bought today, especially the difference between a large green onion and a small green onion. As you can see, the large green onions are somewhat thick and very long. And we usually use only sort of the top part, the white part. The white part is really great for soup and also for any kind of seasoning. And the green part, we usually only use it to make broth. When you're making vegetable broth or when you're making beef stock, it's always good to use the green stock. The reason is because the green part has kind of the sticky, like a jelly stickiness inside. And let me show you. When you tear this out, it's kind of wet and sticky usually. And it's not very tasty when you eat it raw. So remember that you should use sort of the white part. And the way to store these large green onion, I usually just cut them in half, wrap it in either newspaper or paper towel, and keep it in the refrigerator. It's a good way to keep it for a long time. The small green onions, or just regular green onions that you'll find in the grocery store, these are really great for any kind of seasoning, small enough that it can be eaten raw or fresh. And you can see the difference in the size, right? And again, these ones, you can use not only the top, the white part, but also the green part. And it's good to make marinades and different kinds of salad dressing as well. I also want to share, tell you the difference between a pickling onion and the regular yellow onion that you can buy at a grocery store. Regular onion, you can use it for any kind of cooking, but these pickling onions are very special. They come out usually in April or May, early springtime in Korea. And they're very hard, and they're very sweet. They're almost like Maui onions, but very small in size. And I usually buy them in bulk in April and pickle them in May and use it for the whole year. So it's important to try to find the small, very firm onions for pickling. Then I want to show you my favorite seasoning of all, which are garlic. These are fresh garlic. I just got them from the Namhae area, which is southern part of Korea. It's very famous for garlic. And I usually buy probably about 100 garlic each time. That's a lot, I know, but I like them fresh, I like them roasted, I like them in my soup, I like them in all kinds of recipes. So I use it throughout the year. And as you can see, the garlic that I have here been dried and cut, and it's really nice when you break them apart. And you can tell that these are really great, has been dried very well and perfect size, because it's when you tear them apart, it feels firm. Each of the garlic pieces are very firm and very fresh. The way I keep these garlic is they come like in this huge mash bag. And I usually peel them and freeze the peeled ones for up to a year in my freezer. The ones that I keep fresh, I just keep them in this net bag and hang them in my balcony. And they will keep this way for at least 1 year. And I will use this same garlic to make kimchi, and especially use them during the Yukgaejang season, which is in December. Finally, I want to show you the difference between the different kinds of zucchini that we have in Korea. I'm sure you're very familiar with these slim and long ones, but in Korea we also have this sort of the round, very pretty ones here. They're almost shaped like a gourd. And these actually taste much better when you put them in jjigae. And these long ones we usually use for jeon. So the reason is I want to show you the inside. So when I cut it, you can see how yellow it is inside, and it's really very tasty. But you don't want to use the whole thing. So when I put them in jjigae, I usually quarter them and take out the sort of the soft center and only use the outside. And that way your zucchinis will taste crunchy even in jjigae and stews. It's very important to have the yellow center. It means it's ripe on the vine rather than while in transport to the supermarket. So with all these vegetables that we bought today, I'm going to share my recipe with you for making Yukgaejang, or my style of making beef soup. So let's get started. This Yukgaejang that is a more of a Busan style. My family actually comes from Busan area, which is southernmost part of Korea. And we used to make this soup for every summer. You would think that you would have sort of cooler food in the summer and hot soup in the winter. But somehow when you have the soup in the hot summer days, you feel cooler after having sweated so much. It's our favorite to have during the summertime to strengthen your energy and to be re-energized. So I hope you will enjoy making it as well. We start with this large green onions, and it's a very key ingredient in making this soup. I'm going to cut it into about 4 or 5 inches. And as I said, when you're making soup, it's also good to use the green part. And it requires lots of green onions. That's what makes the soup taste really good. And then I'm going to just cut the green onion in half. You don't really have huge chunks of green onion in the soup. One of the major differences between typical Yukgaejang and the Busan style Yukgaejang or gogikguk or beef soup is the fact that we put radish into it. So I'm going to slice the radishes, and I need to julienne the radish because, again, you want all the ingredients to have that sort of the long, stringy look to it, into sort of big matchstick pieces. I use beef brisket, and I boiled it for about 40 minutes in order to save time. And I like to hand shred my beef because I think it tastes better. And it's nice to be able to sort of touch your beef and get rid of some of the fat as you shred it. And you can also use flank steak in the States. Flank steak is not really easily available in Korea, so I use brisket. But flank steak works really well. In a large pot, turn the stove on. While it's being heated, I'm going to add the shredded beef. Maybe I'll add the whole thing. The shredded radish. The green large onions. It looks like you have too much, but really it will die down when you start to boil. This is actually the beef stock from the beef brisket that was boiling. Just water and beef stock. I'm going to add to it, and it's not enough, so I'm going to add equal amount of water. Here I'm going to add the seasoning. I don't really like to have chopped garlic in a soup. I like to taste the garlic, and the garlic is fresh, so actually it tastes really quite nutty. So I just cut it into little slices, and so I put maybe 5 or 6 whole garlic and a little bit of ginger. And then the key here is that you also need to add some fish sauce. And people say like, oh, fish sauce in a beef soup. But trust me, it really adds the flavor, and you won't really taste the fishiness at all. So 2 spoons full of fish sauce. I usually use soy sauce that's for soup base. You can use regular soy sauce, but I would recommend low sodium soy sauce, or Korean style, traditional Korean style 조선간장 if you have it. So I'm going to put in probably, to start, just 3. I'm going to let it boil a little bit before I put in the other ingredients. So it's been about 10 minutes. Let's see if, whoa, look at this. Looks wonderful, doesn't it? All the radish and the green onions are almost cooked. And now I'm going to add the vegetables. I'm going to add the mung bean sprouts, a handful. And this is maybe something unfamiliar to you, but it's called fern, gochugaru in Korean. And you can also find them at Japanese and Korean grocery stores. There is a kind of an interesting saying in Korea. They say that originally they made this Yukgaejang for the king, and they put in vegetables from all parts of Korea. So not only one region, but he was able to taste vegetables and meat and onions from different parts of the kingdom. So he really was able to taste sort of the true Korean vegetables and ingredients. Yukgaejang, or this kind of soup, has a very special meaning for us. I'm going to put in now some gochugaru. Usually we also make gochugaru into a spicy chili oil before we put into the sauce. But I don't really like to add oil to the soup. I like it a little more healthier. So I just add plain gochugaru. And you just let it boil for another 10 minutes and you'll be ready. I'm going to cover. It's been 10 minutes of boiling on high heat, and I think it's ready. Look, the hot pepper has dissolved into the soup, so it's nice and creamy looking, and I think we can eat. Let me try. You want to get some beef and vegetables. Well, it's been a while since you've appeared in my show.
That's right. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. My friends have been asking about you and wondering why you're not coming on at the end like you used to.
What's the answer?
Anyway, I made your summer beef soup, Yukgaejang, so try it. It might be a
good.
little bit spicy for you, but
Okay.
try it.
I'll try it.
And give me your honest opinion.
Very good.
Very good.
Just spicy, but not too spicy.
Not too spicy. You
Very
can
good.
you can manage.
Yes.
And try it with your 열무김치.
Okay.
So, put in lots of vegetables that you don't like to eat usually. This way, I make you eat all the vegetables.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I approve.
Thank you. Thank you.